Caring for your aging parents can quickly take a financial and emotional toll on you and your family. But unfortunately, 3 out of 4 of us are going to need some form of care in our elder years. The average cost of a nursing home in Arkansas is around $8,500 a month, and assisted living facility care averages about $6,300 a month. And if you hired an agency to provide an aid for your parents at home, it could run between $4,000 and $4,800 a month. In this video, I'm going to show you how to get your elderly parents the care that they need, whether that's in a nursing home, an assisted living facility, or having an aide help them in the home, but without being forced to spend thousands of dollars each month. Hi, I'm Cynthia Orlachek Jones with Elder Care Attorneys of Arkansas. My team and I have worked for over 35 years with seniors, and we help adult children help their mamas as they age and their health declines. And as we get older, most of us will need some form of care. According to the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics, almost 24% of caregivers provide elder care on a daily basis. Unfortunately, as we live longer, we typically develop chronic conditions that will require nearly 1 out of 2 of us to enter a long-term care facility. As a matter of fact, the Department of Health and Human Services estimates that 56% of Americans turning 65 today will develop a disability serious enough to require long-term care services and support. With a life care plan, you will know what your parents' options in care are, what determines the need for that level of care, how much it costs, and how to pay for it without them going broke. Plus, when it's something you know mom and dad will be happy with and they're at peace with, you'll sleep like a baby. And trust me, I know this because I was in the same situation with my own mama. My mom was 85 years old, a widow, and had a heart condition. I realized she wasn't eating right, she wasn't taking her medication, she wasn't going to her doctor like she was supposed to. We had a talk, we sat down and talked about her options and decided on a plan. For the next 5 years, I was my mama's caregiver. She lived with us for a while, she lived near us for the other 4 years. I took her to doctor visits, took her to the ER. I had to give her injections in her stomach. I helped her cook, shop, clean. And at one point, I was her caregiver 24 hours a day. And then I got some help. I brought in an outside agency to help me because it was becoming too much for me. It was wearing me out. As our parents age, they are all in different situations. And it's important to know that there isn't a universal solution for mom and dad because everyone has different challenges. But when it comes to finding out about all of mom's options, there are 3 main problems that people face. The first problem is deciding what is the right care option for your parents. The right choice will be different for everybody based upon your parents' health, your family situation, the finances, the care, assistance, or supervision that they need. The second problem is covering the cost of care. As I mentioned earlier, the cost of getting your parents the care that they need is expensive, but it's going to be paid for from somewhere. Will it come from your parents, from their investments, or will it come from you? Or will they utilize some of the benefits that are available to them? And problem 3, one of the most unspoken problems is how to protect mom and dad's home and their investments, and maybe even let them leave a legacy. Unfortunately, because the cost of care is so high, it is essential that you help mom and dad plan to protect their home as well as the rest of their investments in the event that one of them needs to enter a long-term care facility. They worked hard all their life to give what they earned to you and their family and not some nursing home or assisted living facility. The solution to finding the right care for mom and dad is in life care planning, And here's what I'm going to show you on this webinar. Number one, I'm going to show you how to pick the right type of care for mom and dad with something they will also be on board with. Number two, what they will need to do to qualify to receive help paying for their long-term care with the Medicaid healthcare benefit. And number three, how to put a force shield over mom and dad's home and secure their investments and your inheritance from creditors like the nursing home. All I ask in return is that you provide me with your name and email to continue watching. And as we've just discovered, there are 3 problems that people face when taking care of their elderly parents. The first problem is making sure that you find the right care option for your parents. Option number 1. Now you can be their caregiver. However, this is going to require much of your time, day and possibly night. It's going to require mental energy, physical energy. And if you're working, are you working full time? Do you have the time to do this? This can be very difficult being a family caregiver. And option number 2, you could hire an agency to send a sitter. This is a non-medical person that can be with mom or dad any number of hours that they need, any number of days the week that they want. But you need to make sure that the agency will provide the type of care that mom and or dad actually need. And you can expect this type of care provided by an agency to cost between $30 to $40 an hour. But you can choose how many hours a day that mom and dad need the help and which days of the week that they need to provide this help. You can provide the help the other days of the week. Option number 3, mom and dad could move into an assisted living facility. And if mom and dad can still do most of the things for themselves, this may be a good option. At the assisted living, the staff will dispense medications for them. They're going to cook their meals, they're going to provide activities, but this can be an expensive option. Each resident or couple will have their own apartment in an assisted living facility. And these facilities have different styles of apartment, which can impact the monthly cost. Also, typically they have different levels of care, which will really impact the cost of care. And the more care they need, the higher the cost. So those are the main care options, but this leads me to problem number 2, because the care is expensive. So option number 1, you could be their caregiver, but you've got to consider the time that it's going to take. If you're working, do you take time off of work? And you really need to consider the mental and physical energy that is required in being a caregiver. Option number 2, you could hire an agency to send a sitter. If an agency charges $35 an hour for care, and they are providing that care 24 hours a day, just 5 days a week for the 52 weeks of the year, that costs over $218,000 for 1 year of care. Now, how do you pay for that? Investments, sell the house. Long-term care insurance may pay part of it. Kids can help pay. And that brings us to option number 3, assisted living. If mom and dad go into an assisted living facility, the cost of care is going to start at a basic rate of around $4,800 in our area, but it can go up to $7,900 a month. And the 4th option is nursing home care. The average cost, that's average. This is not the high or the low. It's the average cost of care in a nursing home is $8,502 a month. And if you multiply that times 12 for 1 year, that is $102,024 for 1 year of nursing home care. Now, this is why through Life Care Planning, we are able to save our clients tens, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars on their elder care costs. So we do this by getting our clients approved with the right programs, which allow them to get the care that they want and need without having to pay for all of it out of pocket. The 3rd problem is protecting mom and dad's home and their investments. So typically, when there is no life care plan in place and mom or dad needs to enter the nursing home, what I see is they start cashing in their investments, or they scramble to sell a retirement resource to pay for this care. Some have even borrowed against the equity in their home to pay for the cost of this long-term care. So life care planning is a very important part of your estate plan. If you know the options in care, whether that's at home or in a facility, and your parents help choose which option they will prefer, then you can calculate how long their money will last, and they can decide if or when to apply for the Medicaid healthcare benefit to help pay for the long-term care costs. Now, this is why through life care planning, we are able to help our clients save tens of thousands of dollars and get them the care that they need and deserve. But unfortunately, the process is confusing. However, with the right guidance and when you get approved, it will help pay the cost of their long-term care so it doesn't come out of the family member's pocket or mom and dad's investments. So I remember when my mama was living with my family and how hard it was. And then when she demanded her independence again and wanted to live in her own space, I was always worried. Is she gonna fall? How long will it be before I find her if she falls? Am I providing the right care? Am I providing enough care? What else does she need? I was always worried about it. But I wanted to honor her wishes. It was tough. Being a family caregiver impacts not just you, it impacts your family. It's going to impact your job, your health, mental and physical, and it is challenging. I know firsthand how expensive and time-consuming it can be, but this is why we do what we do, because it is our mission to help seniors and their families with this elder care journey. Getting older affects all of us, but with the right planning, you can avoid a catastrophic financial event, and that's what we want to help you do. Here are 3 reasons why our life care planning will help get your mom and dad the care that they need without breaking the bank. Number 1, we're going to help you find the right option for mom and dad as they age and their health declines. There isn't a one-size-fits-all answer for everyone, but with our life care planning, you will know all of their options. Number 2, we're going to show you how to get approved for funding assistance to help pay for long-term care. So, care is expensive, but if mom needs to enter a long-term care facility, following mom and dad's life care plan, we can help mom get approved for assistance to help pay for the cost of her care in that facility. And number 3, we're going to show you how to protect mom and dad's house and the rest of their investments. With a life care plan in place, they will be able to protect their home and preserve most of the resources so no one will be left impoverished. Basically, you have 3 choices. Number 1, you can stress about how you're going to care for your mom and dad as they age. Number 2, you can continue to spend down to pay for their care. Number 3, you can continue to allow mom's home and other assets to be subject to loss, or you can click the button and book a call with our team so you can get more information about our life care planning. So schedule a call with us today and we'll show you how it works.